Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. And we are now into part 3 of this multi-part episode featuring the Dinobots, custom Dinobots that I have in my collection. Here we have Snarl. Snarl is the what is this guy? Let me pull it out. I had it right here. Stegosaurus. Something that I haven't done in the other videos, but so I mentioned that these are the KOs of the Power of the Prime releases from Hasbro. So these are oversized, right? Meaning they made them bigger from what they were originally produced by Hasbro. So for instance, all of these guys except for Grimlock were deluxe sized, right? So they upscaled them to Voyager size. So just for a quick comparison, let me see, who do I have here? Let me bring in so this is of course the Wheeljack. This is the what is this? Earthrise Siege Wheeljack. So he is a deluxe figure, right? So when the original Hasbro Dinobots were released, they were around his size, or maybe slightly taller because traffic in my area. So the scale from the War for Cybertron line is a little shorter than the previous ones. So the figures were slightly larger before, but so Snarl. I'm sorry. Yeah, this is Snarl. He might have been maybe slightly a little bit taller than a current deluxe, but still, many thought that they were too small, right? So they made these KOs into Voyager size, and now they're more properly scaled, you could say. But the new ones that are coming out in the Studio Series line, those are leader class, which is, I guess, the preferred size for the Dinobots. And again, just for comparison, let me bring down the Studio Series Grimlock, so just so you can get an idea. So all future Dinobots that we'll be releasing will be in this guy's size. And just for comparison, alright. Grimlock won't be featured in this video series since he has yet to be customized. He's still in his stock form, and so maybe he'll be featured in some future videos down the line. Okay, so Snarl. This is one of those figures that I had a lot of fun painting because he had a lot of little details that I had fun with going over. He is probably, these last ones that I'm gonna feature are probably the ones that have the most paint applications done to him. So yeah, let's get started. For starters, his gun was not painted, just kept black, so just gonna remove it. But on this guy, right off the bat, I had a lot of fun painting some accents on him, on his shoulders and the back, on his dino tail, you could say, the inside portion of his dino tail. So then just bring him in. You can see all of those metallic red highlights on his not highlights, accents on his shoulder. Those were my idea. I didn't take them from any sort of inspiration from anything. Just something that came to me. Maybe the old War for Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron video game, and you know, because a lot of those Dinobots had like some neon, well, not neon, but you know, a lot of bright lights coming out of them. So I think maybe I took inspiration from that. I don't remember, because I mean, I don't even have the game. I just seen, you know, the figures that were made and all of that. So maybe that's where this came from. But yeah, I thought it would look cool just to break up all of that gray plastic. And then on the inside part of his tail, all of those wires, right? So in between the red of the wires, there's some silver connectors, right? I thought about giving him multicolored wires, but then again, as you can see, the idea was to give the impression that these wires are powering the red, right, across his you know, his figure. So there's that. On the chest, trying to see what it did, if anything. I'm not seeing anything on his chest, except for, oh yeah, right here I gave him these black accents. These are stickers, well, paint, factory paint, and then this gunmetal accent here. So that's on both sides. I painted. This is the port for the so when it connects in combiner mode. So on this one, what I did is, of course, you can see this was all black originally, so I painted those red accents, and then the port itself is the port itself is, this is all one piece, and this bottom piece here is from another figure, the which is this part here that I just cut off and glued in place here at the bottom to fill a gap, because there was a gap here at the bottom, and my dog is going crazy. Sorry about that. So that bottom part left, there was a gap here from the port, because they were meant to be fitted either with these figures or the original figures, so the ports stayed the same size. So when they upscaled the figure, that left a gap here. So once I started modifying the figures, I decided to fill in that gap. I took apart and cut this portion of the port and placed it on this guy. So now it all looks, you know, like one seamless piece. And the red that I used is well, I forget which color, but I used duplicate color, you know, automotive car paint, to give it that you know, bright, there you go, that glossy look. Nothing on the forearms, nothing on the shoulders as far as paint, other than the red. And down by his waist and trunks, that blue, metallic blue, was added, as well as that little yellow dot there, the little triangle. I forget where I got that idea from. Pretty sure I got it from like the original figures, I believe. And then the silver trim and metallic red on his trunks here. I may have picked that up from the Fans Toys versions. And then down here on his legs, so instead of going like I did on the shoulders with the metallic red, I went with the metallic blue down here as the main color. All of that painted in metallic was done by me, and all of these bits hidden in the black panel, all of that I painted. There we go. So all of that was black, just pure black. Of course, on both sides. That was a lot of fun to paint. Time consuming, but fun. And on his feet, let's see. I believe these parts, yeah, this part was not painted, so I painted that in gold. And then let's see, on the inside I did not do anything on the inside on this guy. No. On the bottom, no. And of course, you know, there's the dino head, and I painted the eyes blue. And then here on the back, you can see that green and that red. So yeah, I mean, I may go back to these guys and touch up the blue, the gold plastic, and paint that in a in a metallic paint. Okay, so again, let me pause the video, transform this guy, and I'll show him in his Stegosaurus mode, and I'll be right back. Before I show him in Dino mode, just want to show one other mod that I did to him. When going into his robot mode, the panel here on his below his neck, below his head, you could say, this would rest over the combiner port, right? But it would not sit flush. I don't know if it was a design from the original or because of the KO, but the head would not rest, you know, completely at a flat 90 degrees. It would almost stay up like this. He was like almost slightly looking up because the panel was, I guess, too thick or too big. I'm sorry, the port, the combiner port. So what I ended up doing is carving into it. You can see there. And so now I carved out a little notch, you could say, so that when the there we go. So now you can see all of this was was carved out, sanded, and now when the head rests, it's completely flat. So it used to be like this. Now it's like this. Okay, and now back to the transformation. All right, and here we have Snarl in his Stegosaurus mode, and again, you can see all of that detail that I added to him really pops in Dino mode. You can see how when I decided to do what I did as far as accenting parts of the figure, you can see where my mind was. So all of this, let me bring it in closer, all of that leading up to, let's say, all of that blue that I added to him was to lead up to his eyes, right? And then all of the red would lead up to his bottom and his tail, right? So I wanted to keep that, all of that, like one seamless look. All right. Keep, you know, like drawing your eye to a certain direction. And then all of that detail there on that black panel that I added. You know. And then you can see his back, the back of his booty. And then there was these accents that I didn't mention, but again, these are, you know, right there. And one other change that was done to this figure, I don't know again if the original was like this, but I imagine so. These spikes that he has on his tail, these two are meant to, you know, move around. But when the figure came misassembled, so these were actually reversed. So these were like this, right? They were flipped around, and then you couldn't get the full range of what the intention was for these spikes. So you have to, if you get these figures, you have to turn these around, right? Yeah, all in all, again, a cool. I added this silver accent right there. I don't think I mentioned that. There it is. Yeah, all in all, again, another good example of a cool action figure to work on. All of these Dinobots, I don't know, this is supposed to store, I think, on his leg. Yeah, all of these Power of the Prime Dinobots, again, if it weren't for the for their smaller size, you know, the original releases, again, these were released oversized KO versions, and again, they were better but not optimal when you when I compared them to the Studio Series Grimlock. You know, that's the size everybody wants their Dinobots. So I'm glad that they're releasing them in the leader size, but these were pretty good when they came out. You know, it's that it was the combiner gimmick that ruined some of the figures. You know, because it just leaves some spots, you know, like you know, questionable. So some sacrifices needed to be made to make the figures work as a combiner. But all in all, again, a lot of detail that was added on the figures. So for customizers, you know, all of that stuff was fun to work on. So right, so there we have it with Snarl, and I'm gonna again stop this video and begin recording the next part. So I'll be seeing you in the next one, and just in time because here comes some traffic.